Welcome back, everyone. If you're tuning into this channel, this is the Central Jersey Arts Council. My name is Elham, and today for the Valentine's Day craft, we're creating a box of flowers. Let's get started. Okay guys, so for today's items, you're gonna need a box, whatever shape that you prefer. I have a square, you could get hearts, you could get circles, whatever you'd like. Ribbon to decorate your box if you'd like to do that as an extra step. I have some bling ribbon here. Now, since I am using fresh flowers, I have the wet foam blocks. Now, if you're using artificial flowers, you could use the dry. If you're using the wet foam blocks for the fresh flowers, you're gonna need a tray to fill with some water to hydrate those blocks. Now, all of these items right here cost me roughly about 30 bucks in your local arts and crafts store. So let's go ahead and start with our first step. So for your fresh flowers, it's always nice to have a plastic bag that you're gonna put inside of your box so it doesn't ruin the box itself. What I'm gonna do first is hydrate my foam blocks. So we're gonna put this aside, add water to your tray. You just want enough water that when you add your foam blocks here, that it will float. You don't want to submerge them purposely, and you don't want to completely overcrowd them as well. Now, a good tip is before you add your wet foam blocks is to measure them out in your box. So that way it's less mess, you're not exactly transferring water into your box. So I would like to just take my box and my wet foam board and measure this out. So I'm gonna cut this in half. If you wanna go the extra step, you can take a box cutter and create some bevels, just if you want a shape. That's not completely necessary, that's up to you. So I'm gonna cut this in half, roughly in half. You don't have to be precise. And they're very easy to cut. There we go. Okay. See. Okay, and we're gonna add one more. Now, you don't have to be perfect when it comes to cutting these boards, because you could always just stick them in the box and form them as you go. So do not worry about messing up. Okay, so while the wet foam blocks are hydrating, I'm gonna go ahead and decorate my box to make everything a little easier. All right, so now that I have this bling ribbon, I actually wanted to cut this in half and just create a nice little sash, but I do like how the whole box itself is covered and it's like the perfect size, so I'm just gonna go ahead with this. It makes things a little bit more easier for me. So I'm literally just going to measure this out, cut the ribbon, and then use hot glue to stick it to the box. Side. And just cut across. It's always good to create a marker or like a point of where you want to cut through, and be careful with scissors, guys. There we go. And I am only decorating up to the point of where the lid is, so you're gonna have a bit of space if you do take out the lid at the end of it. Right there. Check if it matches. Okay, see, that's really good right there. Perfect. The top corners to start this along. There we go. that shape. And you can check by adding your lid to see if everything fits properly. Wonderful, it's perfect. Okay, so now that I know that it fits just right, I'm gonna go ahead and glue the bottom corners and move all the way around the box. Perfect. Okay. A nice tug and seal. You could always just clean up any residue right after everything's hardened, so that's okay. Now that we added our ribbon in our box, we're gonna add either a plastic bag, so you can use a clear bag, or the plastic that came with the flowers, so that way your wet foam box won't absorb into the box itself. I have two options here. I'm gonna see what works best. You could use something like this. You cut this and just put it simply inside the box like so. And then just put your wet foam blocks in there and you can start decorating your flowers. So you could use this option, or you could even use the plastic on the flower so you're not wasting anything. You could literally just put that in. Just like this. Either one works perfectly fine, and you could always just trim out the extra layers. So let's see here. What I think I would like to prefer using is the plastic bag. You can use this, it's totally up to you. I just feel like the plastic bag is a little bit easier to work with. Just like that. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're not gonna see this part. All right, I'm gonna add my blocks in there, and you can actually create a nice little bevel to your blocks if you'd like. So you just cut it at a 45-degree angle and you'll create nice little bevels around your blocks. Got one right there. Add that down as well. Put this down right here. And we have a small little space. Like so. Now that we got that all set up and ready to go, we're gonna go ahead and start adding in our flowers. Okay, so for the final part, you're gonna grab your roses and decide how you wanna actually decorate them in your box. What I'd like to do is take a single rose and measure up how much I would like actually the rose to show. So we're gonna cut, let's see, the first length. Just stick it in your box on the wet foam board like so. See, so now I know if I wanted to keep it a little bit higher, I could do that. Okay, and you could use this as a reference for the rest of your flowers. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my stems so they're all the same height. If you'd like some of the flowers to actually protrude out more, you can cut them a little bit longer. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do now. This is your final product. This beautiful DIY project is cost effective. Everything costs about $60 to create. You could, of course, customize it to your liking. You could add more roses, or you could even substitute them for tulips or orchids or chocolate or more greenery. Catch us at Central Jersey Arts Council on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram for more crafts, desserts, and DIY projects. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Catch us next time. Bye. I don't know if that's even good, but you got 2 takes of that.